Imagine this. You're 72, finally retired in sunny Arizona, and that morning drive to the grandkids' soccer game feels like the ultimate freedom, until a viral post whispers that new rules could yank your keys away just for getting older. Heart sinking. You're not alone. But what if I told you the real story is way less scary and way more empowering? You know, driving's baked into the American soul. Think back to the post-WWII boom. Eisenhower's interstate highway system in the 50s turned our cars into tickets to the dream. Road trips to the Grand Canyon, Sunday drives in a shiny Chevy. For our grandparents, that license wasn't just paper. It was independence, a way to chase opportunity from sea to shining sea. Fast forward to today, and with baby boomers hitting 70 like clockwork, over 10,000 a day, according to the census, states started asking, how do we honor that freedom while keeping everyone safe? It's not about ageism, it's about evolution. Back in the 80s and 90s, a few states like California and Illinois pioneered vision tests for older drivers after studies showed reaction times can slow with age. No big federal hammer, just states experimenting, like labs in a grand American experiment. But here's where the plot thickens, and honestly, where my blood pressure rose a bit reading those frantic emails from viewers. Over the summer, social media exploded with posts claiming the feds were dropping a bombshell in July or October 2025. Mandatory cognitive tests, annual road exams, and renewals every 2 years for anyone 70 plus. One viral chain even said you'd need a doctor's note just to back out of your driveway. Sound familiar? I felt that pit in my stomach too, picturing my own folks, 75 and feisty, suddenly grounded like teenagers caught sneaking out. So let's bust this wide open with the facts. No fluff, just truth from the DMV, and fact checkers like Snopes. First off, there is no new federal law mandating these changes nationwide starting October 2025. The U.S. Department of Transportation isn't rolling out age-tiered tests or yanking licenses en masse. That's the rumor mill at work. Stories like this pop up every few years because they tug at our hearts. Fear of losing control in a country built on it. But the reality? Driving licenses are a state power, not federal, per the 10th Amendment. Always have been. What is happening in 2025 ties into ongoing state tweaks for safety, plus one big national shift, real ID enforcement on May 7. That's the deadline where your license needs a star for domestic flights or federal buildings. No impact on driving, but a nudge to update if you're a frequent flyer. Now, the meat. State-specific rules that have been evolving and might feel new if your renewal's up. These aren't October bombshells, but they're worth knowing to avoid surprises. Most states already require vision checks around 70. Nothing revolutionary, just common sense, since the CDC notes older drivers face higher crash risks from things like slower reflexes or meds. Here's a quick rundown of what's typical in 2025. No uniform overhaul, but tailored to local vibes, like California's traffic jams versus Montana's wide-open spaces. State, California, age 70-79 renewal. Every 5 years in person, age 80 plus renewal. Every 4 years in person, key add-ons, vision test. No written test needed since 24. State, New York, age 70-79 renewal. Every 5 years in person, age 80 plus renewal. Every 3-5 years, key add-ons, vision test, cognitive if flagged. State, Florida, age 70-79 renewal. Every 6 years, age 80 plus renewal. Every 4-6 years, key add-ons, vision test at 80 plus, road test rare only if issues. State, Texas, age 70-79 renewal. Every 6 years, age 80 plus renewal. Every 4-6 years, key add-ons, vision test, annual check from 85 if concerns. C. Variations galore. Florida's laid back for its snowbird crowd, while New York's stricter in the Big Apple chaos. Cognitive assessments. Only for 80 plus in spots like Illinois or if a doc reports concerns, no blanket rule. And road tests. Save those for 87 plus annually in a handful of states or if there's a crash history. It's about individual smarts, not a birthday cutoff. This setup's been refining since the early 2000s, driven by data. AAA says seniors drive fewer miles but have fatality rates rivaling teens when accidents hit. The goal: fair assessments that let sharp 75-year-olds keep cruising while spotting folks who need a breather. But let's get real. This isn't just policy wonk stuff. For ordinary Americans, it's personal. Picture your Aunt Linda in Ohio, 71, zipping to the farmer's market for fresh corn, chatting with neighbors like it's the town square. That drive keeps her connected, fighting isolation that hits 1 in 3 seniors hard. Or your dad in Texas, post-heart scare, still hauling grandkids to Little League because it makes him feel vital. These rules, they're a double-edged sword. On one side, safer roads mean fewer heartbreaking headlines, like that Rockaway Parkway tragedy last month, where an elderly pedestrian got caught in crossfire. We've all seen the stats. NHTSA reports older drivers in fatal crashes often cite vision or meds. Protecting everyone honors the America we love, community over chaos. Yet the flip: it could cramp independence if not handled right. Losing wheels might mean missing doctor's appointments, that weekly bingo with pals, or just the simple joy of a Dairy Queen run. For families, it's tough love. Do you nudge mom toward Uber or risk the what-ifs? The impact ripples, economically too. Seniors drive 500 billion miles yearly, propping up rural towns and small businesses from diners in Idaho to pharmacies in Pennsylvania. If more folks park, we could see delivery booms or community shuttles straining budgets. But hey, that's where innovation shines. States like Oregon are piloting volunteer ride programs, and apps like Lyft offer senior discounts that feel like a high five from Uncle Sam. So what's the takeaway as we cruise into fall 2025? Stay proactive, not panicked. Check your state's DMV site. It's as easy as Googling Florida senior license renewal. Book that eye exam. Maybe hit a defensive driving course for the discount and confidence boost. And if you're under 70, chat with your elders. It's a chance to bond over shared stories of the open road. These evolutions aren't stripping freedom. They're safeguarding it for all of us, from toddlers in car seats to silver-haired road warriors. If this cleared up the fog or sparked a story from your life, smash that like button. It helps us reach more folks dodging the rumor rabbit hole. Drop a comment. What's the wildest driving myth you've heard? And if you want more no BS takes on American life, hit subscribe and ring the bell. We drop vids weekly. Drive safe out there, friends. See you next time.